All right, so my name is Cash Kunkel, and I'm going to be presenting over the mega events for today. Um, so here we go. So this is going to be my article, and it's over just like the mega events and outcomes of Olympic-sized events, and the article title is "Who Wins Outcomes of Olympic-Sized Events." So going into it, what is a mega event? So pretty much it is an event that requires substantial investments by their hosts and attracts considerably a great deal of media attention. In addition to the scale, defining features of mega events are that they move from place to place. They also last a fixed duration, so a set period of time. They attract a large number of visitors, and they have a large meditated reach. But they do come with high costs and have significant impacts on the built environment and the populations. Sporting mega events include the FIFA, which is the FIFA World Cup, um, Olympic Games, Rugby World Cup, and Asia Games. And these are just some examples. There can be a bunch more. It's just basically a big event. And these are included in multiple countries, and their size, scopes of their infrastructures, costs, media attentions are also going to be significant to these events. So, going into impacts, mega events are involved with economic, environmental, and social impacts. The rising costs of hosting mega sporting events, controversies over host government spending, allegations of corruption, and increased their scrutiny by a variety of stakeholders have all led to concerns over sustainability of mega sporting events. So this is resulting in a significant growth in legacy research, which some have attributed to the International Olympic Committee, and this leads concerns to rising costs of hosting, controversies over spending, allegations of corruptions, items like that. And pretty much the types of legacies that are being studied are economic, public health, which deals with participation, volunteer, infrastructure, which is facilities and transportations, environmental, urban redevelopment, security, culture, branding, and that all links to tourism. Then you have your knowledge and education, and social and emotional. And those are all going to be linked to the event means to the host nation. So for the next slide, we're going to talk about some of London's target legacies. And this is going to go into the regeneration of East London, so the infrastructure / urban redevelopment legacy. Inspiring community activity by young people. Volunteer legacy goes into that quite a bit. And then you're going to have your encouraging business investment, which is going to be about your economic legacy. And then aspiring sustainable living, which is overall your environmental legacy. And then lastly, making the UK a world-leading sport nation by getting people more involved in sport, health, participation legacy. So for the next slide, the title is going to be Impacts Falling Short. And basically this is just going to be talking about how the impacts of mega events were falling short on their aspects on what they were trying to attend. So for the first part, we have they fall far short of expectations in terms of economic and non-economic impacts in both advanced and developing societies. And then that goes into an example would be the 2016 Rio Olympics as a legacy failure, um, as expensive venues remain without owners and approximately 22,000 families were estimated to have been evicted from this mega event. And the mega events do not benefit undersized populations. Um, and an example of this one would be in 2012, London Olympics pointed out that it gentrified parts of these cities, forcing poorer residents out. And then some more impacts falling short continued. Um, the 2014 Commonwealth Games on the east end of Glasgow. Residents in that area complained about the disruption of the games and basically how it caused the facilities and amenities being left behind. Local people were not wanting to use the world-class swimming pool, um, which in this case of swimming use has decreased the residents' look at the incredible facility just because they don't want to go in there because it feels like it mismatches with their ability. So for this next slide, we're going to go into attracting bidders for mega events. So it is already being seen more difficult to attract bidders to host mega events. For example, tax-paying public increasingly has to be persuaded of the benefits beyond the event itself to spend the nation's resources. Then you have hosting mega events has also proven both costly and difficult to budget for. And this, for example, could go into Athens Olympics, and where they projected their budget would be set at approximately 1.6 billion, and then at the end of it, it ended up eventually costing nearly 16 billion. So quite a big difference right there. And then Beijing Olympics projected costs for organizing the committee alone were reported at 1.6 billion, and then with their final budget, including facilities and the infrastructures, it ended up being a good amount, which ended up being $40 billion. On the flip, there has been a few successful mega events, and a couple of the mega events were the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. This one was sought to be very well planned and beneficial. Then you have the 2002 Commonwealth Games in Manchester, England. And then Barcelona leveraged the games to promote the city. It rebuilt decaying infrastructures and used those improvements to attract business to the city. And then, moreover, you got Manchester has used the sport to build communities and tackle social deprivation since successfully staging the 2002 Commonwealth Games. Also, in addition to that, Manchester has had some excellent public-private partnerships that have turned into some good economic investments. And then lastly, going into the unsuccessful mega events, there were a few. 1976 Montreal Olympics was seen as crippling the city financially. It was just shown costing a lot to the whole city as a whole, and they just couldn't financially overcome that. And then in addition to that, 2004 Athens Olympics, this crushed the Greek economy shortly afterwards. Um, just showing that mega events don't always bring a lot of good to the cities. Yes, they do have their ups, but they do come with a lot of downs as well. If you're not very prepared and well sought out planning wise, this can cause, a great deal of financial depth and can cause a very severe disaster socially, economically, environmentally, even. So yeah, a lot goes into these mega events. And then going into Brazil, they hosted the 2014 FIFA World Cup and the 2016 Olympics. And this was shown as a social, economic, and environmental disaster as well. Beijing, Athens, and Brazil, they were shown with a white elephant stadiums alongside increasing debt. So yeah, I mean there are a couple unsuccessful mega events, but there are a few successful mega events as well. A lot goes into it. You just gotta plan it out, be very well sought out, and know what's going on, and see if it's even worth it in the long run for your city. So overall, this is my presentation over mega events. I hope you all enjoyed.